doing stonework for about 10 years. Wow. I worked as a stonemason. And all that while, that was actually around the same time as I was playing with Jay. I was kind of working stone. It was really my main gig, and I was playing music on the side.
Wow. No kidding. So that's crazy. So tell me how you go from working with Stone, not the Rolling Stones, but working with Stone, into this international phenom. I mean, was it that record you put out in 2014? Is that what kind of launched you?
Well, yeah, absolutely. But also sort of concurrently with that, in terms of the timeline, like literally, I want to say maybe 9 months before I released the album, I had to finish working with Stone. I was having serious repetitive stress issues in my wrists, particularly with my right wrist, but I was having issues all over my body also. It's just like, I'm a really small framed dude, I was lifting 100-pound stones all the time, swinging a hammer at a chisel just over and over and over all day. Just a lot of stuff that's really hard on your body, hard on your back, hard on your neck, hard on your knees, everything. So I actually had a workman's comp claim because I literally couldn't use my hand anymore. My hand was like seizing up on me. Wow. So I had to quit. And around that time, I decided to just really focus on the album and finish it up. So it kind of gave me the opportunity to take some time off and really focus my attention on finishing up, that first album of mine and get it out. At which point I just threw it up on iTunes one day, not really having any expectation of what was going to happen. And then next thing I know, I'm touring all over the world.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that, so you worked on this record with a friend of mine, by the way, Dave Freelander, who used to work at Paisley Park.
That's right.
Figured that out, right?
That's right.
You finished this record. You're like, I'll just throw it up there. You weren't like, oh, this is the greatest. You had no expectations? I mean, I'm sure you had some. But
obviously I hoped that people would hear it and would enjoy it, and maybe something good would come of it. But I really didn't. I don't know. Maybe I just lacked the self-confidence at the time to even believe in myself in that way.
Tell me about some of the responses that started coming in. When did you get wind that this thing had legs?
So there's this DJ in the UK named Roger Williams. He does a show called Soul Sorts. And I remember first hearing a podcast that he had done where he had literally played every song from the album, and he talked about all of the songs extensively and what he loved about them. And I was like, he was glowing review while he was playing all these songs on his podcast. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I saved the podcast. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Played it for all my friends. I was like, you're not going to believe this. Right. And the next thing I know, I'm realizing that he was not the only one. There were tons of these other DJs, most of them in the UK, but some of them kind of sprinkled throughout Europe and Japan. And I just suddenly started to realize that this thing really had legs.
How do you prepare for something like this? I mean, what did you do when you found out that you had this following starting to happen overseas and in Japan? How does that change you?
God, that's a good question. I don't know.
Did it?
I don't know that it changed me at that particular time. I was already going through a tough time. I actually was in the middle of a divorce at that exact time also, which was just there was, rains it pours, it's it's going through a divorce, non-amicable, not fun, an emotionally rough time, of course. And then I've got this really, really incredibly uplifting, thing happening with my music career. It was almost difficult to even know how to process it all at the time. but I guess I did my best. One of the best things I probably did at the time was work with Dome Records, who I'm still working with now. Peter Robinson at Dome Records was really like a huge piece of kind of like helping to sort of manage my career in a way, to be honest. I mean, he's the label owner, but he really took on so much more responsibility than that. Kind of became like a very managerial, sort of position. It kind of helped guide me through a lot of unfamiliar territory, along with my manager at the time, Dwayne Tellisford, who was also super, super helpful and actually hooked me up with Peter. So, it was nice to sort of establish some connections with people like that could be a supportive team for me, which was, as I'm sure you know, that's huge. To be able to delegate.
Did you have any idea what you were getting into? I mean,
no.
Right.
No idea.
So they kind of had to guide your steps. Like, okay, this is what you've got some legs now. This is what's got to go on. Did they spell it out for you and kind of mentor you through that process?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, again, Peter, hugely instrumental just in terms of, when I was out on tour, he would actually, he would sort of accompany me to radio stations and kind of give me the rundown on, what I should do. And, we spent a lot of time together, just like we'd be in a cab, just running from solar radio over to the BBC, just like talking about all the things that we needed to accomplish for the day, and him just kind of really guiding me. And he still is here with me now, and he's going to retire after this year. So he actually was really excited that this is going to be one of the last projects that he works on, is this second record of mine. So I'm really, really excited to still be working with Peter just before he retires, actually.
So you had never toured like that before. Had you ever toured even regionally before? So
I've never done.
And how old were you when this record came out? Because this is important.
36, is that right?
So you had worked your tail off from the time in high school, playing clubs, laying stone.
Oh, I also worked as a piano tuner.
Oh, by the way, bring your tuning forks next time you come visit me, would you? I need you.
Okay.
No, but I'm serious. What I'm trying to get to is the amount of dedication and belief and love and passion for music with all that comes with it. You stuck it out, man. You stuck it out. And at 36, all of a sudden your life changes, didn't it?
It did, very much so. And I think, it's a good tale for those who are out there and think that, because you're past the age of whatever it is, that Hollywood likes to tell you you're done if you haven't made it by the time you're 21 or 22. It's a complete lie. I made my first album at 36 and put it out there, and it was well received, and my life completely changed. It can't happen.